Hey everybody, Lights Out Ace here. It's been a while, and I apologize for that. I did mean to put out a video every single week, but then 2 weeks ago my old computer broke pretty badly. My wife was able to boot repair and reset my operating system, but my streams for the last couple of weeks have really suffered in quality because of that. So that's why I haven't been recording any videos. It's been pretty choppy, but now I have a new computer. Everything is looking great. We got this 1080p, high quality, 60 FPS. It's pretty awesome. So today I'm going to play a few games with Vodakombo, newly minted to the top of the tier list. So I think that having a good idea of how it plays is a solid plan for any competitive player. So basically there's a lot of stuff you can play around with in the early game, but the main meat of the deck is 4 Vodakhan, 4 Mystic Ascendant, 3 Marshal Ironthorn, so that you can sort of go off. And there's a lot of stuff you can do in the middle. Like you can add Sandstorm Titans, you can add Harsh Rule, and it begins to morph more towards a big Combrei type of deck. But the really thing that differentiates this is that it has Voice of the Speaker to do the super full combo with Ascendant, Vodakhan, and Voice of the Speaker, where every power you draw will draw you 4 cards and pump your Ascendant by +8/+8, and basically just draw your entire deck and have a massively threatening board. And if your opponent Harsh Rules, you can rebuild that massively threatening board immediately, and you basically can't lose from that point. So I'm gonna run through a few games here. Probably gonna be a shorter video compared to normal because I do have to stream later today, so I'll probably just play like 3 or 4 games. But just kind of wanted to get the news out there that I'm back, give an explanation why I've been gone, and just kind of show off the new computer. Alright, so this is a pretty solid hand here. We got Initiate and Voice of the Speaker to sort of ramp up Combrei Emissary. Like, the only thing that would make this hand better is if there was a payoff card in it. And ideally you do want to keep a hand with a payoff card, but given that my first hand was unkeepable, I had to mulligan this. But like, this can solve for a bit and really ramp up hard, so hopefully I'll find a payoff and it'll just be off to the races. Alright, opponent on some sort of time deck, which could really be anything. Oh crap, that was a mistake. I meant to Voice of the Speaker first and then draw 2 sigils. But as it is, we're just kind of waiting for the payoff here, and that's like a fine place to be. And this deck has so many big payoff cards, like 8 huge fatties, 3 Ironthorns, 3 Great Parliaments, 4 Sirafs. And you can mix around the numbers of Sirafs and Great Parliaments and such depending on your collection, but this is certainly not a cheap deck by any means. Okay, well, the mistake with the Voice of the Speaker didn't seem to have punished us. We have plenty of power here. So, opponent is on some Elysian beatdown deck, so I don't need to worry too much about them wiping my board or anything. So I'm just gonna pump some stuff up. I think I'll boost the Combrei Emissary, since that's the one that I'm most likely to use the ability of. Like, the Echo power doesn't really matter when I have this much power already, and Combrei Healer doesn't have any abilities, so given that the choice between 2 similar 2/2s, I'll choose the one that has an ability to preserve. And I'm just gonna take some beats from this False Prince for a few turns. But we're just 1 Mystic Ascendant away from going off completely here. We'll get to play 2 power and give it +4/+4 and draw 2 more cards. Siraf is also good. So the opponent, the only removal they might have is a Permafrost. But considering I don't have 11 power, I'm just going to put it down here as a big threat. Now they need to answer this next turn, or I can start pumping out some random units. And those random units will very likely be bigger than a False Prince. Yeah, I'm just going to take another 5 here. And I have plenty of chump blockers later on if they ever play a non-overwhelm unit to supplement their pressure. Okay, this is very good news. That means that Siraf is not dying. So let's spin the Siraf wheel. 4/4 is a bit below expectation. I'm just gonna attack with this thing here. It's not really doing anything by holding back. So I want to hold a few power in hand, but I think I'm gonna play out 1 more here. I think two is plenty because I'll draw a bunch of cards and likely find more power, especially now that my powers have Echo. Jeez, the opponent has a 5 strength unit. Holy crap. They are going to draw a lot of cards. Now, for most normal decks, like even a normal Combrei deck, this would be completely unbeatable. Opponent drawing 6 or turning a Dawnwalker. But this Vodakombo deck goes so far over the top that like even this isn't that frightening. I have several turns worth of chump blocks for the Sandstorm Titan. I can take 5 a couple times. Here I'm actually just going to kill this. I need to sacrifice one other thing. I think one of these initiates is the pick. There's not really much difference between 8 and 9 in this deck. If I hit an empower thing, I still can double empower it. And boy, did I ever hit an empower thing. All right. That is pretty sick. I'll take 2 5/5s, please. Yeah, see, like, I didn't even need to draw an Ascendant or a Vodakhan. Like, there's no way that my opponent is beating 2 5/5s plus a Siraf activation per turn, even with this Mystic Ascendant. I guess the thing to be afraid of is Crystallize. Now my opponent does have lethal damage in play, so I'd like to force some chump blocks for my opponent so that I don't die to Crystallize. And I'm going to save these in case I draw a Vodakhan, because if you tutor up a power when you have a Vodakhan in play, you get to draw another card right away. And I'll have plenty of power to play these next turn if necessary. Alright, and then I'm just going to send with a few guys, I suppose. Well, these can both get eaten. I think I'll just send the 10-10. This trades with like a bunch of things. And I have plenty of 5/5s now, so like I'm okay with these trades. Just need to start clearing out the board so I don't die to Crystallize. I don't think I'm losing to anything besides Crystallize here. I think now the opponent only has likely 11 strength. Also frees up my flyer to start attacking, although they have a million chump blockers for it. It's like losing the Pillar of Amar is unfortunate, but I don't want to die to Crystallize. I'm just playing around things, and if I find an Ascendant or a Vodakhan, I'm still very likely to win. Fun brings back Dawnwalker, sure. These 5/5s are now no issue with all these Sentinels. So if I swing with everything, what happens? Guess I'll activate this first, see if I get a charge unit. A copper conduit. Okay. So if I swing with everything, they can block. They can eat one of these 5/5s, block another 5/5, then make a bunch of chump blocks. And I have a fatty left in reserve. So yeah, let's put on some pressure. I don't know that a board stall favors me because they do have Crystallize in their deck. They also have Xenon Obelisk, which could be somewhat troublesome for me if all of these little guys get boosted way up. So anytime my opponent has to make a bunch of chump blocks, I'm happy with it. Okay, yeah, that's totally fine. I'm actually going to take out these 3 little guys. I don't care about a 2/3 at all. I just want there to be fewer chump blockers around. And the opponent takes 9. I only sacrificed 1 card. I think I'll play one of these here. Just kind of hedge, might need a little more power. And Ironthorn would also be nice here because then I could ultimate it the very next turn, and that would win me the game. Okay, opponent drawing 2 more. The change to Dawnwalker is really helping me here. They can now only chump block with this every other turn. Not the best draw. But at least we have Siraf. So we have to decrease the attack of something. So decreasing that doesn't change anything. Decreasing that doesn't really change anything. I'll just hit the Dawnwalker, I suppose. Then I'll attack. I am now dead to that Crystallize. that I've been talking about. I mean, maybe my opponent doesn't have it, but I'm just very, very frightened. I don't have any endurance units to stay up to block either. My opponent has drawn a lot of cards. If they're running it, they will probably draw it. I now have 2 flyers, though, so I'm sort of putting a clock on. And I have a couple more attackers, and they have blockers. Okay, well, not anymore. Opponent deploying... Oh, wait, there was the Xeon Obelisk I was somewhat afraid of. So it's still just kind of Ascendant holding off everything. I guess these flyers can out double block and take out one of my flyers. Vodakhan would be nice. One is debating attacking. What could they attack with? Alright, well there's an Ironthorn, so I will win the game next turn if I survive. Reality Warden, that's a big one. Alright, well the opponent doesn't have anything that could eliminate this Ironthorn, I don't think. So I'm just going to sit and hope to survive one turn and kill them next turn. Yep, that's the plan. It was just a race between me drawing an Ironthorn and them drawing a Crystallize to stop this board stall. And I drew the Ironthorn first. I guess I would have eventually won because I think Siraf activations plus my draw step every turn would overwhelm Mystic Ascendant eventually. But it's hard to know. Man, usually this deck draws way more cards, but my opponent drew a ton of cards this game too. Between activating 4 friendly wisps and getting, what, 6 draws off this Mystic Ascendant? Yep, well played, Fear Puncher, well played. Ironthorn prevails. That is a very, very powerful card. Did my ranking just not change at all? That's kind of amusing. Alright, play a couple more games here. Then a quick lunch break, then I'll start my stream. Shameless plug while I'm on the topic. I stream at twitch.tv/rngeternal.com Sundays and Wednesdays. Wednesdays from 5 until 10-ish Central Time, and Sundays from noon to 5. The network also has a lot of other good streamers. The ETS on Saturdays, Beardress on Thursdays, Miller Tool on Mondays, so definitely check that out if watching streams is your thing. Alright, and this hand is great. It has acceleration, has a payoff card. Just feeling very good about this one. And I'm going to save the Seek Power because I don't need it right now. Like, I have a couple other power in hand. And if I do draw a Vodakhan, I will want it in my hand so that I can immediately draw a card off the Vodakhan. The goal with Vodakhan is always to draw a card with a Seek Power or a Find the Way or a Talir's Favored or a... Yeah, just one of those 3 cards on the turn that you play it. Okay, so opponent could have like Desert Marshal they would have played on their turn. There's no other ambush unit here except Scorpion Wasp. And if they are Scorpion Wasping a Initiative of the Sands, I'm pretty okay with that. And there's the Vodakhan, so I'm glad I saved the Sea Power. Although I will play it next turn if I don't find a power, just so that I can guarantee Ascendant plus power on next turn. The turn after that, turn 6. Okay, and I drew one, so it is fine. So I'm going to pass, take 5. The next I'm going to Ascendant plus power. And the turn after that I'm going to Vodakhan plus Seek Power. And that'll just draw me tons and tons of cards. Even if they silence this Ascendant, I'll draw so many cards. I think I'll be able to go over the top of this Sandstorm Titan pretty easily. Vodakhan does die to silence, which is another reason that you want to get some mileage out of his ability right away. So let's draw a card. Okay. And this will likely get vanquished. Or silenced. We prefer a silence, just that my opponent has fewer silences. Alright, so this reads to me like they have a either Harsh Rule or a Stand Together. If it's Harsh Rule, that's okay. If it's Stand Together and I block, that's really terrible for me, so I'm not going to block. I'd much rather take 5 damage and keep this Ascendant in play. They're likely just going to Harsh Rule, though. And Harsh Rule is kind of unfortunate because then that'll kill my Initiate and I won't be able to Vodakhan plus Seek. Oh, they said Ancient Lore? Okay. then I think we're going to win the game this turn. Well, not like actually win the game, but like effectively win the game. So play that, draw a card. That's going to go straight into play and draw me another card. So I now have like 2 draws stacked up. Yep, so every power is drawing me 2 cards because the Destiny draws a card and then the Mystic Ascendant trigger draws a card. So I'm actually going up on power quite a bit. Then I'll seek. If I get above 12 cards here in hand and start discarding, that is okay. I'm not terribly worried about it since I already have an Ironthorn and a replacement Vodakhan in hand. Next turn, I want to like Ironthorn plus ultimate, so I want to get some more power into play here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And your timer doesn't run while all these animations are happening, which is nice. Alright, so I'm just going to play these to get some hand space, then play this to draw some more cards. Get up to the mythical 20. And this will likely make me discard at the end of turn, but that's okay. I just want to make this attack super lethal. Just getting more power in play is never bad. Alright, Voice of Speaker discarded. Would have had a full combo there, so that's kind of sad, but whatever. So if my opponent doesn't have a Harsh Rule now, they're just dead. And, alright, yeah, I'm going to end the turn. Discard an Amber Acolyte and one of these Find the Ways. And, what's the third one I discard? I already have 1 Seek power, so I probably don't need another one. Let's discard this Combrei Emissary. It's the weakest card. I don't think I'll need to combo harder when I already have this much power and this many good cards in hand. Yeah, drew like 20 cards that turn. Man, some fun stuff. So I drew, this guy went from 6 to 26, so I drew 10 extra cards that turn. Opponent has Harsh Rule, and that's fine. We get to do it all over again. And you want to fetch out Justice instead of before time because you have the Talir's Favored, which can only search out time. Yeah, I have like basically every power in my deck in play now. So they just have to Harsh Rule every single turn for the rest of the game. And this is looking pretty lethal. I'm just going to throw this out here to free up some hand space. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have to play another card. This is actually going to draw me a bunch more. Alright, there. That seems like a threatening enough board. Opponent Harsh Rules. I end the turn with 36 more strength of units in play. Alright, Ironthorn is not going to cut it. I guess I could now silence this Vodakhan and kill it. Yeah, Copperhall Bailiff is not going to be nearly good enough. Alright. Play this guy. Activate it. Swing in for 32. And you can see how this deck doesn't really have any need for Harsh Rule or Sandstorm Titan. Like, that's just small ball compared to this Mystic Ascendant, Vodakhan Temple Speaker nonsense. Like, your opponent can have a huge board, and then you just make an even huger board that they'll never, ever be able to deal with. And then, even if they are sort of getting out of control, you can get up to ultimating Ironthorn really, really easily. Alright, so I'm gonna run probably just one more game here. This deck isn't that complicated, so once you kind of get the gist of how it works, it's pretty easy to see how you could apply that to every matchup. Alright, so we have found our opponent. So this has a ton of acceleration but no payoff, so I'm going to redraw. This is basically the same hand, just again, tons of acceleration and no payoff. I'm going to grab Justice at this right away. I do need 3 of each, but I have tons and tons of fixing, so it's not particularly troublesome that I only have two of each influence. Diplomatic Seal, Inspire. I feel like that's probably Rakano. My hand is kind of slow. Mystic Ascendant is a nice pickup, though. So turn 2, I can Talir's favored. Turn 3, I can Emissary, play 2 power. Yep, Rakano. So I'm not going to chump here. I think I can chump something bigger than 2 strength eventually. The opponent will play a Hammer of Might or a Champion of Glory at the very least. It's going to take 2. And another nice thing with this deck, I don't really have to worry about the war cries. Like, they're going to get some medium to large size thing. It'll be like a 6/6 to a 9/9. And I just play stuff that's way, way bigger than that. Okay, so assuming this Combrei Emissary doesn't bite the dust, next turn I can play power, Ironthorn, power. If I draw a power, I suppose. But I'm just going to take another hit here. Alright, well, the Combrei Emissary is getting silenced, so that dream is dead. So I am just going to play Ironthorn. I don't think holding the Ironthorn matters so much. It may get vanquished. So I can block that Crown Watch with this Emissary now. So actually, I can play around the Vanquish to some extent by playing this Talir's favored here. So I guess I'm going to do that. This also leaves open Desert Marshal, just in case I want to silence Vulk Reinforcer or something. And I played the Talir's favored over Seek Power, because Seek Power is just 1 cheaper. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to block Crown Watch with Desert Marshal here. Silence the flyer so I can chump it later on. Block that guy. No need to chump just yet. I'm still pretty high in health, and I want to play around them having a like Hammer of Wrath or something. Alright, that doesn't make my guys any worse of chump blockers. I'm going to throw and get you power. I'm going to save this. I can always like play it next turn and then play Mystic Ascendant. I have enough power, so this is almost certainly just getting vanquished here, but then maybe Mystic Ascendant will live. Alright, opponent cannot play a Soulfire Drake. That's nice for me. Yeah, there's the Hammer of Might I was talking about. So now my chump blocks are just much more effective than they would have been. An opponent does not have Vanquish, so they would have played that instead, just because Ironthorn is such a huge threat. Okay, so just kind of going off now. Play Ascendant. Ascendant plus Ironthorn, so you play 2 power here, so I'll draw 2 cards off this. Oh, and another Desert Marshal? Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this game now. Desert Marshal can stop any shenanigans. If they attack with this Bailiff, I'm just going to chump block. No need to risk my losing my Mystic Ascendant to a Torture of Finest Hour. This thing is just going to kill my opponent next turn. Alright, they're just going even bigger. Wow. But that's fine. We have plenty of chumps. I'll be able to deploy an Amber Acolyte as another chump. And Desert Marshal perhaps as well. So yeah, I'm going to play this. Find a power. Draw a couple cards. I'm going to swing with both. I have plenty of like chump fellows back. Actually, perhaps I should have played the Ironthorn to draw 3 here. Yeah, that would have been better. I'm just going to play Siraf, Initiate, leave up Desert Marshal here. Let's present a ton of lethal threats. Alright, the opponent concedes. Yeah, so that was a good showing. This deck has overwhelming late game power. You need to either draw very well from the reactive side and have this deck draw very poorly, or be faster aggro. And there's not a whole lot of faster aggro going around right now, so I think that Vodakombo is a very good choice towards the top of the tier list for a reason. And until next time, Lights Out Ace, signing off.